hybrid coaster. Buy your tickets today and save online at kingsdominion.com.
Tonight, we do have breaking news as we come on the air. The passenger jet crashing in Mexico. The images coming in right now. Word the pilots were trying to abort the takeoff. Emergency teams on the scene. Also developing tonight, the trial of Paul Manafort begins. President Trump's former campaign chairman. Prosecutors in court saying his fortune was built on lies. Manafort's attorneys signaling the witness they're most concerned about. Kira Phillips is standing by. We're also on the scene of the raging wildfires tonight, and there is new concern that two fires might now merge as one. And in the Carr fire alone, more than 1,200 homes and buildings now destroyed. The stunning images now emerging tonight, the hostage situation, the woman held at knife point, police opening fire, killing the suspect, and the hostage too. New allegations tonight, another woman who has come forward against CBS chairman and CEO Les Moonves, what she told police, and why the DA in Los Angeles says it will not pursue the case. Facebook tonight and the new warning, what they say they have now uncovered, Americans targeted, the meddling all over again. The parking garage collapsed, more than 20 vehicles crushed. They sent rescue dogs in, searching for possible victims. And Alan Alda going public with his private battle.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night, and we begin tonight with the images coming in right now. We have learned shortly before we came on tonight of a plane crash just south of the border. Nearly 100 passengers on board, several crew members. That passenger jet crashing just after takeoff, the flight from Durango to Mexico City. It's believed the pilots were trying to abort the takeoff, that there was some bad weather, but when they tried to halt the takeoff, it was too late. And just moments ago, the governor there tweeting saying everyone survived this, even with flames and smoke coming from the plane. ABC's Lindsay Davis leading us off.
Tonight, the passenger jet disaster, smoke billowing, the plane in tatters, broken up in a field. These haunting pictures were among the first posted on social media and Mexican TV. Aeromexico Flight 2431 crashing in a field in Durango, Mexico, just after 4 p.m. local time. The state's governor saying there was bad weather and that the pilots were attempting to abort just after takeoff, but it was too late. The plane going down just beyond the runway. Witnesses report seeing an explosion upon impact, the jet bursting into flames. Emergency crews seen rushing to the scene to get survivors to local hospitals. And there are reports that miraculously, some were able to walk away. It left Durango, a popular tourist location, en route to Mexico City. There were 97 passengers and 4 crew members on board. At the crash site, an ominous image, the tail of a plane and trail of smoke.
All right, Lindsay Davis monitoring developments as we're on the air tonight. And as I mentioned, the governor tweeting just moments ago that everyone survived this. But Lindsay, we do believe these pilots saw the bad weather and that they were trying to abort takeoff in just those final moments.
Exactly. So transportation officials have just confirmed recently that this was a weather issue. Unfortunately, the pilots were not successful in trying to abort. It was too late. But 85 people believed to sustain injuries. But the good news, David, that everyone survived.
Yeah, that is the good news. All right, Lindsay Davis leading us off tonight. Lindsay, thank you. The other developing headline tonight, the Paul Manafort trial has now begun. He is the former campaign chairman for President Trump. He stands accused of dozens of financial crimes. Prosecutors in court saying his fortune was built on a foundation of lies. Their chief witness, Manafort's former partner, Rick Gates, who is set to testify against him. Manafort's team saying in court that Gates is willing to say anything to save himself. And tonight, this trial is also the first test of special counsel Robert Mueller and his team. The president has repeatedly called Mueller's work a witch hunt. ABC's Kira Phillips is at the courthouse in Alexandria, Virginia tonight.
He was right at the center of the action.
Yeah, I think this looks good.
Running the Trump campaign for 3 crucial months, guiding the candidate into the convention.
And Paul Manafort has done an amazing job. He's here someplace. Where's Paul? Paul Manafort.
But today, President Trump's former campaign chairman going from his jail cell to day 1 of his criminal trial. Prosecutors say Paul Manafort believed he was above the law, that he lied to the IRS and knowingly filed false tax returns, failing to report tens of millions of dollars he made working for a Ukrainian political party with deep ties to Russia. He is accused of hiding the money in offshore bank accounts, opening more than 30 accounts in 3 countries, and using the cash to bankroll his lavish lifestyle, luxury real estate, fancy suits, antique rugs. Special counsel Robert Mueller's star witness, Manafort's former business partner Rick Gates, who also served as the president's deputy campaign manager through the election. Gates pleading guilty to conspiracy and making false statements in exchange for his testimony. Manafort's lawyer today charging Gates is willing to say anything to save himself because he embezzled millions of dollars.
Any reaction, Mr. Manafort?
Manafort allegedly committed his crimes well before he joined the Trump campaign. The case doesn't involve any allegations of colluding with Russia to meddle in the election. But the case seems to have shaken President Trump, especially after FBI agents raided Manafort's home just before dawn last summer.
I thought that was that was pretty tough stuff.
Mr. President,
to wake him up, perhaps his family was there. I think that's pretty tough stuff.
The president now distancing himself from the man who once ran his campaign.
Paul Manafort was replaced long before the election took place. He was only there for a short period of time.
Now, Trump's own legal team is shifting strategy, moving from this simple declaration.
There was no collusion at all. Everybody knows it.
To this from the president's lawyer.
I've been sitting here looking in the federal code trying to find collusion as a crime.
it's not.
Collusion is not a crime.
Today, the president himself tweeting, collusion is not a crime, but that doesn't matter because there was no collusion.
All right, so let's get to Kira Phillips. She's live outside the courthouse in Alexandria, Virginia tonight. And Kira, Paul Manafort resisting any efforts by the Mueller team to get him to flip and help with their investigation. So now by going to trial, and this is just the first trial that he faces, if convicted, he could spend the rest of his life behind bars?
That's absolutely right, David. I mean, no question the stakes are high for Paul Manafort, but, you know, they're sky high for Robert Mueller as well. This is the first case the special counsel has brought to trial, and if Manafort is convicted, it would offer Mueller a powerful response and take away some of President Trump's ability to actually call this an aimless witch hunt, David.
Kira Phillips at that courthouse for us tonight. Kira, thank you. We're going to turn now to the breaking developments in the West at this hour. Those deadly wildfires, and tonight real concern that 2 major fires could now combine as one. At least 8 major wildfires now burning across California. Firefighters battling those 2 fires very close together and Lake and Mendocino counties. Tonight, the Carr Fire, a staggering number from that wildfire. More than 1,200 homes and buildings have burned to the ground, and that number is growing. ABC's Kana Whitworth from California.
Tonight, hot, dry conditions stretching firefighters across the state to their limits. In Southern California, crews racing to contain the railroad fire in Santa Clarita.
There's another drop, and look how effective that is.
In Northern California, a 2-headed monster in Mendocino and Lake counties. The ranch and river fires together scorching nearly 75,000 acres.
The fire's coming in pretty hot right this second, but the wind's kind of blowing down and coming up, and you really don't know what it's going to do.
Less than 100 miles to the north, the Carr Fire burning its way into the record books.
The Carr Fire, now one of the most destructive in the history of the state, destroying more than 12,000 structures and flattening entire neighborhoods like this one. People here were sent running after the fire jumped that road and raced up the hill.
Those massive fire tornadoes we saw destroying whole neighborhoods from the air, leaving behind damage never seen before. This steel pipe wrapped around a tree like a pretzel.
Devastating scenes like this, where look, a fire alarm is just hanging on and homes are completely destroyed, could continue for the next couple months, and that's an overwhelming concern for firefighters. David.
Kana Whitworth with us again tonight. Thank you, Kana. And from Los Angeles tonight, police releasing graphic and difficult body cam video, an encounter with a man holding a woman hostage with a knife. He was using her as a shield, officers then firing and killing them both. Tonight, what police are now saying, we do not show the moment, but we warn you, this is still difficult to watch. Here's ABC's Will Carr.
Tonight, disturbing video of a violent and deadly confrontation raising questions about LAPD tactics. The video shows police racing to a Van Nuys church to confront a suspect waving a long knife and chair. Police fire a non-lethal beanbag from a shotgun, but the suspect blocks the round with the chair. Then Perez grabs a woman, puts the knife to her neck, and then starts cutting her throat, according to police. 3 officers firing 18 rounds, killing Perez and the woman he held hostage. The video release comes on the heels of the tragic death of Trader Joe's manager Melita Corrado, killed in the crossfire as police traded bullets with this man suspected of shooting 2 family members.
So tragically, this is another case where officers were forced to make split-second decisions based on the actions of a violent individual.
David, tonight LAPD's chief is calling the hostage's death tragic and pointing out the investigation will continue and that it's been 13 years since an LAPD officer shot and killed an innocent bystander, not including the 2 we've seen in just the past 6 weeks. David.
Will Carr, thank you. Next, the showdown over guns made of plastic. Guns made from 3D printers that work like regular guns, and the debate over whether the directions on how to make them should be posted online. The deadline for those directions was midnight tonight, and the Trump administration had cleared the way for those directions to be made public. But breaking developments, what a judge has now decided for now. Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega tonight.
Anyone with a 3D printer can make one. A homemade gun, untraceable in a crime, no background check required. The plastic, critics warn, easy to sneak past metal detectors. Detailed instructions, including for building parts of AR-15 style rifles, were set to go online for anyone to access at midnight. Publishing them, a Texas group called Defense Distributed. On their website, The Countdown. The age of the downloadable gun formally begins. Founder Cody Wilson making his case to Wired.
That people have a right to this kind of data. Is it the end of gun control? Like, I think it is in an essential sense.
For years, the Obama administration fought the group in court, but the Trump administration recently backed down, clearing the way for the gun blueprints to be posted. Now, an 11th-hour legal battle, 8 states and the District of Columbia suing, and on Capitol Hill, Democrats holding the president personally responsible.
The blood's going to be on his hands. Plastic, downloadable gun stops at Donald Trump's desk.
And today, an about-face from the president himself, contradicting his own White House with this tweet. I am looking into 3D plastic guns being sold to the public. Already spoke to NRA. Doesn't seem to make much sense. But the last time the president went head-to-head with the NRA, in the wake of the Parkland massacre, he caved on sweeping gun control changes. Tonight, the question, will this time be any different?
Cecilia Vega with us from the White House tonight. And Cecilia, detailed instructions for making those guns, as I mentioned, were set to go online at midnight tonight, but now that judge has stepped in.
Yeah, David, a federal judge in Seattle has put a halt to these blueprints going up online. So it seems the plan, at least as you said, for now anyway, is on hold. Let me make it clear. This is not because of anything the president did. He asked to clarify that tweet today on those 3D guns. An aide said, we continue to look at all options while also supporting the First and Second Amendments. David.
Cecilia Vega, great to have you back at the White House tonight. Facebook issuing a warning today after revealing that they have now uncovered a sophisticated new attempt to influence Americans on Facebook. They say they have shut down dozens of fake accounts like the ones you're seeing right now. They target hot-button social issues. Tonight, Facebook says it cannot say if it's Russia, but that the meddling tactics are very similar to what was seen in 2016, now just months before the midterms. Here's ABC's chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis.
Facebook tonight banning sites with names like Black Elevation, Mindful Being, and Resistors. Those among 32 fake accounts, part of a covert campaign likely designed to influence the midterm elections in November. COO Sheryl Sandberg admitting whoever's behind them was careful to cover their tracks.
It's clear that whoever set up these accounts went to much greater lengths to obscure their true identities than the Russian-based Internet Research Agency, IRA, did in the run-up to the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Security is an arms race, and it's never done.
While Facebook says it's not yet clear who created the pages, there are similarities to previously banned IRA accounts. But so far, no links to Russian IP addresses. The pages were followed by more than 290,000 accounts and ran 150 ads. Facebook's announcement highlighting the threat of potential meddling in the midterm elections. Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill, in a fight to hold on to her seat, recently announcing Russians unsuccessfully tried to hack her office.
David, Facebook says it's investing heavily in security, but acknowledges these adversaries are determined, well-funded, and are constantly changing tactics.